Hello, people. This is Nessa writing her story. I'll tell you how I dealt with my husband Sean and mother-in-law Anita when they revealed themselves to be mooching parasites. My story will start just before my wedding to Sean. Sean and I were dating for 4 years before we got married. He was a very loving and affectionate boyfriend who left no room to complain. To be honest, I was head over heels in love with him and didn't ever want to leave him. But there was one problem that always loomed over my head: his relationship with his mom. Sean was very close to his mom, Anita. That is fine by me. I like it when a man is connected to his family. But Sean kind of always put his mom in a higher position than me. His mom didn't like me at all and got away with insulting me regularly. Sean did apologize to me about her behavior later, but he never stood up for me or even protected me from his mom. We had multiple talks about Anita, but nothing came out of it. Anita continued her horrible behavior towards me. Despite all of this, I agreed to marry Sean. He proposed to me after 4 years, and I was super happy. Like I said, I was in love and didn't see the red flags back then. Now, the trouble started when Sean sat me down immediately after the proposal to say this: "Nessa, something has been bothering me for a while. I think I would need your help." "What's the matter, Sean? Tell me what's going on. I promise I will help you as much as I can." "It's just that my mom recently acquired a ton of debt. She can be a bit of a spendthrift and landed a lot of credit card bills, plus with her recent medical problems, she is drowning in debt." "Oh, that's very unfortunate. So what are you thinking of doing?" "There is no way I can help her, Nessa. It's a lot of money. She will be selling her childhood home to get rid of her bills. I don't want that, Nessa. I wanted to buy the house from her, but I have bad credit. The bank won't allow it. So I was thinking if you could buy the house." "Wait, what? You want me to buy your house?" "Please think about it, Nessa. We're getting married now as well. It will be just perfect. You can take a mortgage since you have the money." At that time, I did feel a little uncomfortable saying yes. Buying a house was a big deal. He was right, though. I could afford it. I thought about it for a week and then said yes. The house was gorgeous, and the price was a little low because of Anita's urgency, so I went ahead and bought the place. Since I alone was paying for the house, I only put my name on the deed. Sean didn't protest, so all good, right? No. After we got married, Sean suddenly moved his mom into the house. By then, we had been married for like 6 months. It was just so out of the blue that I freaked out when I saw Anita casually sitting in my living room in her PJs. I was shocked, but acted calm. "Hey, Anita, are you visiting? Will you stay for dinner?" "I'm not visiting. I'm going to live in this house from now on. My son has told me that he has made me part owner of the house, so I don't need to stay in a rented apartment any longer. That cramped place wasn't my style anyway. Now, the real mistress of the house is back. I don't understand this. Sean told you that you are a co-owner of this house?" "Yes. So you better get used to having me around. I won't tolerate your nonsense under my roof. Since you will be living rent-free here, you need to do as I say from now on." I was shocked at the words Anita said. My mind was spinning. I had no idea why Sean had made up such a big lie to Anita. It was ridiculous and outrageous. I went straight to my bedroom to confront Sean. I said, "Sean, why is your mom saying that she is going to live here from now on? And she is saying that she is a co-owner of this house. What the hell is going on?" I'm so sorry, Nessa. I lied and told Mom that I was the one who bought the house. Mom was complaining about living in a rented apartment, so I brought her here. She's having money issues again. She's my mom. I can't abandon her. Why the hell would you lie to her, Sean? I'm sorry, okay? I didn't want my mom to think that I was a disappointment. Asking you to buy the house was shameful enough for me. Please don't push it anymore. I will tell her the truth after some time. Please don't kick her out. Being the doormat that I am, I allowed Anita to stay. What can I say? I was stupid and in love. I didn't want my husband to feel humiliated, so I went along with him and pretended that he and Anita owned the home. I never should have done that. Anita turned my life into a living hell. She was freaking awful. The woman somehow got meaner because she believed I was living in her house. She expected me to do all the chores and contribute to the household. She wasn't giving us a penny for herself. Instead, I was working, cleaning the house, paying the bills. The only thing that Anita did was cook. Even then, she went out of her way to cook things I don't eat or stuff I'm allergic to. So I often ended up cooking for myself after disinfecting every inch of the kitchen. I knew Anita was doing this on purpose. Sean never said anything about his mom. We fought and fought, but Sean refused to put his mom in place. 2 years passed, and Sean still didn't tell his mom about the house. I was growing tired of Anita's abuse and Sean's lack of support. Just when things couldn't be any worse, Anita made the most ridiculous demand I have ever heard in my life. One day when I was back from work, I found Anita and Sean waiting for me with grim faces. When I looked at them with curiosity, Anita said, "You need to sit down, Nessa. I have something important to tell you." "Okay, what is this about? You look serious." "We have discussed our living expenses and found out that you are not contributing enough to the house." Now, this was something that I hadn't expected at all. I paid a decent amount for the household expenses. Sean and I paid the same amount since we had almost equal salaries. So I have no idea why Anita suddenly thought that I wasn't doing enough. What was more ironic was the fact that Anita wasn't paying a cent towards any household expenses. So it was natural that I was confused. I said, "I don't understand. How am I not contributing enough?" "We are a 3-person household, Nessa. We have lots of bills to pay. Your share is just not enough for everything. Do you expect us to host you for free?" "Well, no, Anita, I don't expect anything like that. But I am already paying money. Me and Sean pay the same amount." "That's not enough, Anita. From now on, you need to hand over half of your salary to me. I will take care of all the household expenses, since Sean said you are bad with money." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This woman wanted half of my salary? She demanded that I pay half? She acted like it wasn't even up for discussion? I was just shocked. Now I knew why Anita had run herself into debt. Still, it didn't make sense why I would be giving her money, and I didn't know what Sean had to say about this. I said, "I don't think you can just demand something like that, Anita. That is rude and unfair. Sean, what do you say about this? You know our living situation better than me." "I think my mom's right, Nessa. You don't contribute to the house at all while earning so much money. It's sort of unfair on all of us, especially on Mom, who does all the cooking and cleaning." "What the hell, Sean? I do give you some money for house bills and utilities." "Yeah, but that is barely enough. This is a 3-person house and expenses are mounting. It's only fair that you contribute more." "That's right. We house you for free anyway. You need to pull your weight and do what is right. Why would you even need so much money? It would be better for you to give me half of your salary. That is the only way this house would run smoothly. I was baffled by the conversation we were having. I had no idea why they were demanding more money from me when I was already paying more than we should have. I knew it was Anita's idea to get half of my salary. There was no freaking way she would only spend it on the bills and groceries. I was pretty sure she would be spending it on herself and writing it off as house items. And knowing Sean, he wouldn't even let me ask Anita for receipts or explanations about how she was spending my money. What surprised me more was the fact that Sean was completely in support of his freaking mother. Sean was the only one who knew the fact that I was paying the house mortgage. I thought that he would shut his mom down with an excuse since he didn't want her to find out about the house ownership. But he never once stood in support of me. It was at this point that I realized how bad I had messed up my life. I had married a gold-digging family. Sean wasn't going to tell his mom about the house. He had planned to keep his finances a secret while taking out as much cash from me as possible. The moment I understood the reality, my mind went blank. After a while, I was furious. I knew that this drama needed to stop right now. So I looked at Sean and said, "Sean, you know well enough what I'm contributing to this house. Are you still going to allow your mom to speak to me like that and demand half of my money? Your contribution to the house is negligible. You don't pay rent and live here mooching off us. I won't allow you to freeload off me, Nessa. Things run differently in my house. You need to pay to stay here." "I don't think so, Anita. I don't need to pay any kind of rent or give you half of my salary." "What do you mean?" "Sean, are you going to tell her the full truth, or am I?" Sean looked a little nervous. I could tell that he knew what was coming. He was already panicking, knowing that I was pissed off. He had expected me to stay quiet and just do as he and his mother said. Well, I might be many things, but I am not a complete doormat. I wasn't going to let anyone take advantage of me and use me for their own benefit. And I was done with this family's parasitic ways. I simply went to my room, got some papers out, and I said, "First of all, Anita, this is not your house. It is mine. So you need to stop saying that this is your house." "What the hell are you talking about? My son bought this house for me. I am the owner of this house." "Well, if that's what he told you, then your son is a freaking liar. This house belongs to me. I bought it before we got married." No, that's impossible. You're lying." "You think I'm lying, Anita? Tell me, do you have papers to prove that you own the house?" "Well, no. Sean said he was keeping it safe for me." "Again, Anita, your son is a freaking liar. He only said those things to please you. When this house was up for sale, your son begged me to buy the house. He knew I had the money and the means to get a mortgage, so I bought the house but didn't tell anyone because Sean didn't want anyone to know. All papers went through agents, so you never saw my name come up. Sean later lied and said that he had purchased the house and put your name on it. None of you two own this place. I do." Anita looked shocked when I revealed the reality to her. She had never imagined that I was the complete owner of the house. Sean had her convinced that he bought the house and made Anita co-owner. Well, all those were lies, of course. He was lying to Anita to make himself look better. He was trying to take all the credit and all my money. I wasn't going to let him do that. I had already made a decision. I didn't care anymore. The truth needed to come out. Dear Anita couldn't just comprehend what I said. The fact that her son was a lying piece of shit was just too far out for her. She refused to believe what I was saying. She looked furious and said, "I don't believe a word you're saying, Nessa. You were lying to make me feel bad and turn me against my son." "Really, Anita? Are you that delusional? Why would I want you to hate my own husband? But if you think I'm making up lies, here, have a look at these. These are the papers of the house deed. Show me. Show me right now. I'm sure you're lying. I showed Anita the papers of the house deed. She read them thoroughly with her eyes going very large with every word. Meanwhile, Sean was just standing there looking miserable. I didn't even want to look at him for longer than a second. When Anita was done, she had tears in her eyes. Still, these were the words coming out of her mouth. I don't believe this. These papers are fake. This is all fake. You're trying to trick me. This house is mine. No, it's not, Anita. This is my house. The papers have the stamp and everything. You clearly saw that the house deed says I am the sole owner of this place. If you still don't believe me, you can ask your son. He's right here. Sean, what the hell is this woman saying? Is this really Nessa's house? Did you freaking lie to me? Sean stayed quiet while looking at his feet. He couldn't bring himself to say the words that he had lied to his mommy dearest. His mommy dearest was begging him to tell her the truth. His silence told Anita all she needed to know. Suddenly she started to cry while asking her son to be truthful. By then, I had had enough, so I said, I let you live rent-free in my house for 2 years, Anita. Neither you nor your son have given me any money for rent. Instead, I was giving you 2 money for household bills. Well, I had no idea that you owned the house. Fine then, you won't have to give me more money. I guess this conversation is over. Now, hold up, Anita. This conversation is far from over. We were not done talking at all. They took an hour to insult me and find ways to get money out of me. Now it was my turn to make some hard decisions and set things straight. I needed to make changes to make my life better, so calmly I looked at them both and said, You never should have asked for half my salary in the first place. I was already paying enough towards the household bills. Today I got to know just how greedy and selfish you guys can be. I've had enough. I don't want you in my house anymore. You need to leave. What? You want to kick me out? No, you can't do that. You can't do this, Nessa. She's my mom. She needs to be here. You cannot just kick her out. Oh, you are going with her as well, Sean. I'm kicking you out, too. Sean was shocked when I said that. He didn't expect me to actually kick him out as well. Anita was also confused and shocked. She thought that she would still continue to live in my house because her son wouldn't let me kick her out. Now she sees that I was kicking her son out as well. She immediately panicked and said, How dare you talk about kicking out your husband? Have you no respect for your husband? Nessa, you can't kick me out like that. We're married and should be staying together. I have the right to be here as your husband. Good thing that we are not remaining married anymore. Don't worry, I'll be filing for divorce tomorrow. I'm done with you. Sean looked at me like he was seeing a new woman in front of him. Gone was the demure Nessa, who didn't fight with her husband and did what he asked. This Nessa was out for blood. He couldn't believe that I was asking him for a divorce. I don't know if he thought he was God or something, that I wouldn't even divorce him. He said, Nessa, you're not thinking straight. You can't just jump to divorce like that. You're overreacting over a small issue. You hear yourself, Sean? This is exactly why I want a divorce. You are a freaking greedy man who thought you could mooch on me and exploit me for the rest of your life. You think I don't see through your plan? Even knowing the truth, you wanted me to hand over my salary to your mom? And you defended her again when I kicked her out. You think this is a small issue? Look, I know you're upset, but we don't have to do this. We can talk about it, Nessa. Absolutely not. I am done with you, Sean. I want both you and Anita to move out of my house by next month. I will be filing for divorce and preparing eviction papers tomorrow. There is no changing my mind. I said that and left while Anita and Sean were shouting and telling me that I was overreacting. I didn't engage with them anymore. I was done spending my precious energy on unworthy people. I shut myself in my room and made an appointment with a lawyer the next day. The next morning, Sean and Anita acted overly sweet with me and tried to win my love. It was sickening, and honestly, it just repelled me even more. I ignored them and went straight to a lawyer. I had requested time off work so that I could sort out my legal issues. For the next few days, Anita and Sean both did their best to win my affection. It ranged from being sweet and caring to downright yelling at me for being unforgiving. That was until I walked in from work one day and served them eviction and divorce papers. Here's when the drama started off. Nessa, how could you do this? We're in love and always wanted to get married. Now you want to divorce me? Out of the blue? It's not out of the blue, Sean. You have done enough to drive me away. Your mom has done enough to drive me away. You never once took my side. Come on, dear Anita. I know I have been unfair in my treatment of you, but I can change. Give us a chance and you will see that we can be a great family. No, can do, Anita. I know you are only saying this now because you know that your housing depends on me. That's the same for you too, Sean. I know you were just sad that you were losing your cash cow. As I said, my decision is final. There is no way you can change my mind. Get your things ready and move out before the eviction period ends. Sean and Anita did not like that. They begged and pleaded with me. Both of them even cried and said some sappy shit about being together. I knew better than to be exploited by a horrible family again. I had done my part and now it was time to move the heck on. I won't lie and say that I wasn't hurting. It did hurt a lot to know that the love of my life was just using me. Sean had zero respect for me and I wasn't going to sit around to see him improve. 2 years was enough time for him to change. I wasn't going to give him any more. When the month was up, Anita and Sean both moved out but went separate ways. Why, you may ask? They fought a lot in the weeks that followed their departure. They kept blaming each other for their current situation and were both pretty mad at each other. Sean was mad that Anita asked for more money, which led to the divorce. Anita was mad because her beloved son lied to her and now she had lost her childhood home. It was a mess, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I also ignored their pleas whenever they decided to have a united front and beg for their house. Sean even came to me separately saying that he would cut his mother off and listen to me from now on. Well, too late, Sean. I did as I promised and went through with the divorce. Getting a divorce was fairly easy. Sean didn't have a lot of money now that he was on his own. Hiring lawyers for a lengthy court case wasn't financially feasible for him. So we agreed to mediation and got divorced. It took some time, but it's done. Sean didn't get anything from me because we made the same salary. We split everything equally. Now, what I hear from others, Sean and Anita are currently not talking to each other as much. Anita moved in with Sean because she didn't have much money, but their relationship had already soured. Sean initially didn't want to take his mom in, but the family pressured him into doing it. He is now miserable with his dear mother, while I have an entire house and all of my salary to enjoy.